guys, it's Dizzy and welcome to a vlog that again isn't on a Sunday. I'm sorry, I know I keep springing these on you, and though I actually did warn you this time, I did say on Twitter today that I was going to be doing a vlog that wasn't on a Sunday because I didn't want to associate my Sunday vlogs with not the message in this video, but the tone of this video. Like I've been doing Sunday vlogs for 2 months now. Yeah, 2 months now. And I like to think of them as my happy place. They're a place where I can be completely silly, do stupid challenges with my friends, do stupid challenges on my own, and give you insights into my life when I do my monthly updates, letting you know what's going on both on the channel and in my life in general. And to be fair, this kind of does come under that rule, in that it is about me. But it's also very personal, it's a little bit more serious. I don't know how it's going to be received, and that's worrying me. So this video is called Time to Talk about anxiety and depression. And specifically, I want to take this time to talk about my story, because I hope that this can help someone. I have been seeing so many posts on Twitter and on Facebook and on Tumblr and on YouTube about people who are struggling. Specifically, one of my very close friends, who I'm not going to name, has been feeling really down and upset and unsure of themselves lately, and I wanted to make this post as, I'm hoping, a reassurance to let them know that they're not alone. And through that, I want to let you guys know that I'm not alone, that I'm not alone and you're not alone. Whether you watch this today, tomorrow, in a week, a month, 3 years from now, this isn't going to change. If you are struggling, if you are suffering with anything at all, that you are not alone. And because it's all very well me saying that and me going, oh yeah, you can talk to me about anything, I wanted to share my personal story with you. I wanted to show you that I have been through God knows how much, that I have been alone, and that I've also talked to people. And though it may seem terrifying, talking to people is always the way. So flashback 6 years ago to 14-year-old me, because I'm currently 20, going on 21 in next month. But yeah, about 6-7 years ago now, flashback to 14-year-old me who is struggling to fit in high school. I was a nerdy kid. I didn't have very good hair. I didn't know how to use makeup. It was something that my mum used and my grandma used, you know, like I thought I was too young for it, and you know, maybe I was, maybe I wasn't, but I was struggling to fit in. I was getting bullied. I was kind of overweight then too, and I didn't have very good self-confidence. I had a really cool group of friends who fell out with me for no reason, and I was left stuck by myself, and thankfully with my bestest friend in the entire world, Fran, who is like my sister and has stuck by me through thick and thin for so many years now. We've known each other since we were 7, and we've been best friends pretty much from this point where my group of friends abandoned me and left me over something so trivial I didn't even realise that it was a thing. And yeah, so I started getting very worried about going to school. I had one friend. I was doing really well in my classes. I've always been quite bright. That's not big-headed movie to say. I did really well in primary school, I did really well in secondary school, I did pretty well in college, and I'm doing good at uni. But especially in my younger years of high school, I was really quite smart, and I was quite geeky. Not in the cool geeky, in the weird geeky way. And so I got bullied. And I started crying every weekend when my dad would go back to his, and I realised that I had to go to school the next day. The weekend was over. I had to face my fears again for the next 5 days until I could escape home. And so my schoolwork started to suffer, and I started smoking at 14, and I started wearing eyeliner and hanging out with the wrong people because I was so scared of being who I was that I was getting panic attacks and anxiety attacks. So instead of facing up to that, I decided to completely change my image. And as I grew into my 15-year-old self, I became a lot more of a scene kid, I became a lot more emo, and it started affecting my moods. So typically when you get to, that age, you're full swing through puberty, and at first I put it down to that. I know my mother certainly did. She couldn't accept that what I was going through was anything abnormal because it probably wasn't to her. I was a teenager, I was a teenage girl, I was going through all these mood swings and all this puberty stuff, and she didn't realise, and at first I didn't realise that there was anything wrong with me. But there was. Through my anxiety and struggling to fit in being me, I also gained depression. I started suffering from depression anyway. I was so low all the time, I didn't have any self-confidence, I was still having anxiety attacks every weekend about going to school. My grades didn't start slipping as such, but I certainly wasn't doing as well. I was sort of towing the line. And though now my teachers are saying, oh yeah, she was a pretty good student, I could see them looking at me like I wasn't the person that I was before, which is true, I really wasn't. So this was year 10. I then started dating seriously. I met a guy and we dated on and off and had a pretty toxic relationship where we'd shout at each other, and we both had different views of what we wanted to do in the future, and I didn't agree with his view of what he wanted to do in the future, and he thought I should let him have some control, and so I said, oh yeah, here, have some control, have your whole life back, you're now single, goodbye, good riddance. And yeah, so carried on like that, ended up dating him on and off for quite a long time, I think it was 9 months. And every time we broke up, I'd get lower and lower into my depression. I started fighting with my mum a lot, I started missing my dad a hell of a lot because he lived on the other side of the country, and I started panicking about what I wanted to do in the future. GCSEs were just around the corner, I'd already done a few of them, but I didn't think that I was good enough to ever do anything past high school. I thought my life was going to end at high school, and I was really quite sad about that. So when I got into year 11, I was now drinking and smoking and being the little shit that I was when I was 16. I was fighting with my mother a lot. I was running away from home because I then had another serious boyfriend whose place I spent every weekend at. And I thought that I was going to be with him forever, and he really helped. I was no longer panicking because I had it all sorted out. I was going to go to college, I was going to go to the same college as him, I was going to become a marine biologist. I decided that's what I wanted to do. I either wanted to become a marine biologist or I wanted to become a psychologist. I wanted to help other people like me who had struggled with depression through their teenage years and had unsupportive parents who thought it was nothing out of the ordinary. So that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to study biology, I wanted to study psychology, and I wanted to study music. And I wasn't allowed to study music because I had not done the GCSE in it, but I was going to do theatre studies in the end. And then right at the last minute, not right at the last minute, but when I was handing in my applications, my mum put her foot down. She was like, no, you're not going to the same college as your boyfriend. What if you don't stay with him? It'll be awkward. It's 10 miles away. You are not going to a college there. She was like, you can either go to the same college that your high school has, or you can go to the one next door. And so I ummed and ahed and and then I got really panicky about that because I didn't know where I wanted to be. I had all my friends at the high school who were carrying on at the sixth form, but that place held such mixed memories for me. Did I really want to stay there another 2 years, or did I want to completely take the plunge and go to somewhere where I never had been before, and everyone from my high school hated them, and I was getting really panicky, and that was like the first time that I'd had a full-blown panic attack and not been able to stop myself. I remember really well. And I just couldn't deal with it. And I tried to make an attempt on my life. I was so panicked, and I just reached for the closest thing I had, which was some pretty strong painkillers, and I tried to top myself. Jesus Christ, this is getting dark. Thankfully, nothing happened. I was okay. But that was a pretty low moment with me, and I realised that I was panicking for nothing, and that whatever choice I made, I would be okay. And so I took a mega big plunge and went to the high school, the sixth form, that wasn't my high school. I went to the one that was next door, and there met one of my best friends from primary school who I hadn't seen for the whole 5 years. I was labelled a traitor and all sorts because I went to the wrong sixth form, but I got a really good education. I got not really good A-levels, like a good A-levels though. I met some of the craziest people you'll ever meet in a Church of England sixth form, and as someone who isn't Church of England, I thought I was going to stick out there, but I did okay, and eventually I decided to come to Chester to study music at the University of Chester, which is where I am now. So now we get to a more current part of the story about how anxiety has affected my life in the last 3 years. So King Bombeer can probably tell you a lot about this. He has known me for the past 3 years. We've been pretty close for the past 3 years, obviously. And for the past year that we've been dating, he can tell you that I've become a lot different of a person, because I came to university going, oh yeah, I can take the plunge again, but I can be a completely different person. No one is going to know me. I only knew 4 people who came to Chester, and they were doing completely different courses to me. They'd never know that I was trying to be someone I wasn't. So I tried to be cool. I tried to shove the geeky side of me down and press it away and wear clothes that I never wore before and become a different person. And my boyfriend he was like, what are you doing? You know, he could tell that I was trying to be someone I wasn't. He could tell that I was doing this because, again, I was afraid to be who I wanted to be. Like, who I was. I was terrified. Coming to a new university was terrifying. And so we started arguing about that. And the second major panic attack, anxiety attack I've ever had in my life. So the second major time that I've ever had a panic attack, me and my boyfriend had already broken up. So my ex had already broken up. We'd fought and broken up, and he'd gone all creep on me, tried to propose, all this sort of thing, trying to get me to stay. But no, I told him it was over, and 3 months down the line, I was kind of on and off dating someone else. It was casual, you know, the whole, oh yeah, it's cool, whatever. And my ex decided that he wanted to come to Chester to come and see me because we hadn't hung out in ages, and we were really good friends as well as a couple. So I was like, yeah, you're up for, like, he was up for a rally or something. And he came round, he got very, very drunk that night, and I got very, very drunk, and he started berating me for my life choices in the middle of my university campus. And he started scaring me. He'd already pissed off the guy that I was seeing, and he, genuinely terrified the shit out of me. So I ran off into my block of flats, hoping that because we had self-locking doors, I'd be able to lock him out halfway along and he wouldn't be able to call me or text me or anything. He wouldn't be able to get to me. But he's a lot faster than I am, and managed to barge his way up to my flat. By this point, I am in full-on panic mode. I thought he was going to beat the shit out of me. I was so worried. And so he got into my room and I started throwing things at him. I started hitting him with everything that I could reach, mainly because we were in my kitchenette. It was like frying pans and plates and glasses and the like, and he ended up smashing my favourite wine glass. I've never gotten over that. And a couple of other things, and I started screaming for help, and thankfully my flatmates all come out and they grab him and they wrestle him to the ground and they get campus security to come and take him away. And meanwhile I am crying my eyes out in full-on panic attack mode. I could hardly breathe. I was like, my vision was blacking out, and someone had to come in and basically hold me and calm me down until I could breathe again, and which case they had threatened to arrest my ex and they wanted to know if I wanted to press charges, to which I didn't, because I didn't want to put our relationship in jeopardy. Friendship wise, I knew that it was because he was drunk and that he wasn't like that normally. I knew that. So after that I became very subdued. I didn't go out a lot. I didn't do anything really. I became quite a bit of a shut-in. I changed my entire look again and I tried to press on with my life, and eventually I got back in the swing of things. I found, not found a new best friend, but I became really good friends with someone. We became best friends and it was great. And then the summer came and it turned out that because of this whole thing I'd actually failed a couple of my modules and I had to resit, and that put me in a panic. I thought I was going to get kicked out of university because I was going to fail this, and I thought that my life was going to be over. I just started enjoying university again. I just started becoming me, and people were actually going, oh my god, is this actually the real you? We like this real you. What were you doing before? Why were you going out and being party crazy all the time if that's not you? And eventually I called for help, and I called Hugo for help, and I was like, look, I am really panicking. What if they don't let me back in? What if I fail these modules again? And through Skype and through over the phone he helped me, and I passed my exams and got into second year. And so I gained a new best friend in Hugo. We'd been friends in first year, but it was kind of awkward between us. Things happened and it was kind of like, do I actually like him? He's a bit of a weirdo. I'm just gonna leave him in that corner over there. And so in second year we started dating, and I think the effect on my mental health was like immediate. I stopped panicking about going to uni. I stopped panicking about what people thought about me. After about 2 weeks of us dating, I stopped panicking about what people thought of me. I started to dress more like me. I started to wear clothes I liked wearing. Started listening to bands I actually liked listening to, and started watching things, started playing games. I started planning, when I got together with, over that summer, I started planning a Let's Play channel. It'd be something I wanted to do for a while, so Hugh helped me plan it, and I set it up in August, and then in February I recorded my first Let's Play, and then I started Let's Playing, and then I stopped Let's Playing because I got really anxious. I didn't know what people were thinking about me on the internet. I didn't know if what I was doing was a good thing, and I didn't know if I should continue doing what I was doing because I got really, you guys scare me a lot. You guys on the internet, you strange people, shit, you scare me. But it's okay, because I'm learning to accept that now. I've learned to show my face. I now do cam stuff. I've just bought a new webcam so that I can do more webcam-y stuff on my Let's Plays. And through King Bombeard, and through getting to know Serendipitia, who we are literally twins. Like, it's freaky. We'll probably talk more about that when we film next, because she's coming over this weekend coming up, and so hopefully we'll be able to film something that has to do with how scarily alike we are, I'm hoping. And yeah, through these two amazing people, and then other people I've met Pinstripe, and more recently Zero Score, and other amazing people I've been talking to, and looking at the Hearts for Gamers community, which Tia is actually a part of. And that was Hearts for Gamers were who inspired me to make this video today. I decided to come out with my story and hopefully get some love in return, because I have been getting a few dislikes on my channel lately. Lost a couple of subscribers because of my Halloween video. But yeah, things are getting better because of YouTube, and that's amazing. That's something I never hoped before. My anxiety attacks are so few and far between. The last one I had was after Slender, because I hated Slender so much that after we stopped filming I had a little bit of a panic and a little bit of a cry, and I was okay again. I'm such a soft ass. My mood's been so much better. I've been smiling a lot more, and I've been having more fun, and I've been playing stupid games, and I've got so many games lined up, and once my laptop situation renews itself, things are going to be a-okay, and I have you guys to thank for it. At the moment I have 44 subscribers. I'd love to double that by the end of the year, I really would, but I want to get to 50. I want 6 more subscribers by the end of the year. It doesn't matter to me how big or small my community is, but 50 is a cool number. And then 3 months time we've got my 1 year anniversary, and I want to do something cool for that. I've got something really cool coming up for you on the weekend that's going to be fun. A new series that isn't Don't Starve, because I still haven't got around to recording Don't Starve. Got a new series coming out for you on Saturday. Things are looking up. And yeah, like I said, I have you guys to thank for it. I have my friends that I've made on the internet, I've had my friends in real life, and you random people who haven't reached out and talked to me yet, please do. And I want you to know that I have suffered, yes, and I will probably go on suffering for a long time. I don't see my depression or my anxiety going away anytime soon. I'll get there one step at a time, but for now I'm going to be a socially awkward 21-year-old who doesn't quite know what they're doing with their life, is playing games on the internet for cheap laughs. But I'll get there. And I want you guys to know that I'm here for you. If you ever want to talk to me, you know, you can reach me on Twitter, is probably the best place. You can do it publicly, you can direct message me. I am always here for you. I am never ever going to judge you if you say that you're feeling anxious about something or you're feeling down about something, because I have been there. Doesn't matter what it is, I am there for everybody, no matter what, and I want you guys to know that too. And hopefully together we can make a cool little community full of love and stuff. But I think that's about everything. I've rambled on for a long time. I've shared a lot of my story, and hopefully it'll get better for everybody. You're not alone. It'll be okay. And yeah, I'll see you in my next video. Bye!